We had a guy on our TV show called Avi a couple of years ago, and me, this guy.
This update I share with absolute joy because for those of you who've been following me from early 2019, you'll certainly remember how I exposed a guy called Jim Jefferies for the fake news he really is when I secretly recorded our interview that he then deceptively edited to suit his agenda. And when I showed the world what he had done, instead of just removing the defamatory segment and apologizing for his disgusting behavior, he hid like the absolute coward he is. And then Jim went as far as banning anyone from his social media pages who dared to bring it up. Then he ran away and never mentioned my name again until now. And how glorious it is to know that I've been living rent-free in his head for the past 2.5 years. But in typical Jim Jefferies style, he's taken a shot at me and distorted the truth again from the comfort and refuge of his own studio and not to my face. So watch me tear apart his laughable claims. Try to enjoy the takedown as much as I enjoyed creating it, and then share the heck out of it to remind the world what a lying coward Jim Jefferies really is.
Me, this guy.
If you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you either haven't seen the expose or you don't remember what happened back in 2019, you can still find the segment from the time by going to jimjeffriesexposed.com. But I'll summarize. I was invited onto Jim's show to talk about all sorts of issues from an Australian conservative perspective. I agreed to be on his show on 2 conditions. 1, that he doesn't include in that segment neo-Nazis. And 2, that he doesn't cut my answers from one question and paste them after another, because I'd seen that he'd done that previously to Jordan Peterson. Imagine my shock. After assuring me they wouldn't do either, they did both. And to make matters far worse, they held on to my interview for months, waiting for the perfect time to drop it. You know when this vile human thought would be the perfect time? After the tragic massacre in Christchurch. Yes, you heard that right. He ran our interview, which was conducted months before the Christchurch tragedy. He ran it after that attack, alluding that I was somehow part of radicalizing that nut job that killed all those innocent people.
And what are the people who may have radicalised him saying?
Luckily though, I was wise enough to arm myself with a hidden camera to the interview, and the rest is history, which again you can catch at jimjeffriesexposed.com. Now, once I exposed Jim Jefferies, he refused to remove the segment or even own up to any naughty behaviour. Quite the opposite, actually. Jim blocked me and anyone else who mentioned it on any of his socials. So, with no other options, I decided I'll try confront him personally. And I travelled all the way to the US, where they informed on me, and they had the FBI waiting for me at LAX airport, and I was then deported upon arrival. So I decided to go to Israel, where he had a show, because they can't get me expelled from there. But when I arrived there, his security team tried to intimidate me out of filming. And when that didn't work, they set up a decoy vehicle to look like they were dropping him off, and then on the side there, they snuck around with another car to the other backstage entrance, all to avoid me. Jimmy, why are you hiding? Why are you coward, Jimmy? Why'd you edit the video? Look at that, they've done a decoy there. How scared they are. They've set up another van here just so Jimmy doesn't have to answer questions. What a coward. So as you can see, it's been a long, hard road trying to get Jim Jefferies even to acknowledge what happened, let alone take any sort of responsibility. He has never said a word until now on his podcast. Have a listen.
We had a guy on our TV show called Avi a couple of years ago, and me, this guy, he says we edited him the wrong way and all this type of stuff. His answer was the same either way.
Wait, what? My answer was the same either way? That literally makes no sense, Jim. If it was the same either way, why'd you have to edit it? Let's just fact check you now, Jim. This is what you ran, mate.
I might sound like a hippie saying this. What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live?
When you import this culture, what do you think's going to happen? Australia's going to end up the same shithole that they came from, that they were escaping. Okay, now let's watch how I actually answered that question.
What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live? Really?
Borders,
I know borders,
yeah.
but wouldn't it just be nice if we got to a place in society where we had
utopian world.
A utopia where we all just lived as
On a level, I agree
You
with
may
you.
say I'm a dreamer. But
I
I'm not
think
the only one.
most people, sensible people would agree with you in theory,
Yeah.
but in practice, it's not. It goes against human nature. It just doesn't work. No, mate. My answer wasn't the same at all, was it? Anyways, let's keep going.
Then he put out a clip and he edited me very, very badly, doing exactly what he said that I did.
Hold on again. I did what I said you did. I think we need to fact check you again there, old mate. My issues were that you included neo-Nazis in the segment. You tied it to the Christchurch massacre. You cut my answers and pasted them to suit your agenda. So, no, I didn't include neo-Nazis in my expose. I didn't tie it to Christchurch, and I wasn't interviewing you, so how the heck could I have pasted your answers from one question to another? I did, though, provide examples where you said some pretty shocking stuff that if I was the one interviewing, I could have done a far worse number on you. I think I ate the baby. It turned out it did eat the baby.
If it ain't a bloody Muslim baby, it would have vomited.
No, I don't actually agree with that.
Shit, isn't it? I'm only joking.
If anyone sees the full footage, they know I did nothing wrong. If you see the full interview, and I have the full interview, and Avi released the full interview on his Patreon, allegedly the full interview on his Patreon, which I think 70 people. I'm being
No, at
serious.
the time it was like 12, I think.
12 people?
Yeah.
So better than ours.
Yeah, better. So about 12
some
people
tips.
He's
watched
doing
it.
something right, guys.
But like there was at the time there was news channels and stuff like that were contacting us saying they were going to do stories, and then we just sent them the full interview, and then they apologized and didn't run the story. So to anyone who's going to come and try to disrupt the shows, or if Harvey's going to come with his camera and act like he's a big news channel all by himself, my answer's the same every single time. Release the full video, Harvey. Release the entire interview.
Firstly, no, your answer is not the same every single time. You've literally said nothing about what happened until now. But we know that you and the truth don't get along very well, do you? What I don't get, though, is why do you need me to re-release it when you claim to have it? You could simply publish it yourself. By the way, people can still go and see it on Patreon. I've never even removed it, except, spoiler alert, it proves that you cut the interview, and it doesn't tie me to Christchurch or neo-Nazis. But you already know that, don't you?
And if you do release the full interview onto YouTube, not onto Patreon, if you release the full interview onto YouTube, you can come on this podcast and I will give you airtime. I'll talk to you for 45 minutes and we can discuss what happened. Otherwise, I don't believe I've done anything wrong.
Give me airtime. You're so cute, Jim. My original report got 2.6 million views on YouTube alone until, for some bizarre reason, it was pushed to the bottom of the search when anyone looks us up. That's why I took the liberty of creating the URL jimjeffriesexposed.com to help make it easy for people to find it again. Anyways, I don't need your airtime, mate. Your little podcast about me got a measly 33,000 views in total. I bet this video you're watching right now will have, let's say, 10, 20, 100 times the views in the same amount of time. Nevertheless, I thank you for your offer, and yes, you did do something wrong. In fact, you did 3 things wrong, and you're not helping yourself here. Only, I understand why you're so triggered by what happened, because at the end of the day, you did end up losing your primetime show on Comedy Central a little after my expose. I guess that probably explains why you're stuck doing this lame little podcast now.
Also, I should add this. release the full interview. Even when he released the full interview on his Patreon for the 12 people, there was a cut. There was a cut in there that would ruin probably his personal life. But I'm not going to release that because I'm not a rat. But release the full interview. If there's a cut in that full interview in the beginning or the little bit in the middle, then no dice. But if you do, come on the podcast. We'll have you on and we'll have a chat.
I reckon this is the funniest part of Jim's little rant. Firstly, I never got to thank you personally for becoming a patron, so thank you, Jimmy. Yes, there was one cut there, although you and I both know that that minor cut of about 3 words, it's only because I can't legally publish those words, though there is nothing stopping you from sharing the full video without that insignificant edit. So instead of giving me an ultimatum that you know I can't legally do, why don't you just share whatever proves your innocence? No, you don't need to answer, Mr. I'm not a rat. The bottom line is, I don't have to prove anything. You do. No one believes a word you say, mainly because you banned and blocked anyone who asked about it publicly. I'm not referring to your mainstream media journalist mates that you allegedly sent it to privately. I'm talking about real people. They know that you're a disgrace. Let's just remember the first public appearance on a show that you couldn't ban people from after you tried to screw me. That's right. Remember when you went on to Conan's and you couldn't restrict people, you couldn't block or disable comments or reactions? There was suddenly 15,000 dislikes and almost 4,000 comments, all calling you out. So no, mate. I don't need to break the law to come onto your sad little podcast because everybody already knows you're a lying bloody coward. If you enjoy watching Jim squirm, make sure to share this video far and wide. And there's no need to sign up to my Patreon anymore because these days I'm part of the best news site in the world, in charge of telling the other side of the story. So all you need to do is go to YeminiReport.com and sign up for free so you can keep up to date with everything me and my camera acting like a big news channel get up to. YeminiReport.com. Sign up now.